Okay, so anyway, let me start my screen sharing and then maybe we can start. Cool. Hello everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me right. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or thumbs down if you can't hear me. Something there you can do something around. Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Francisco. That's good. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me start the session. Let me record the session. Please do, if you don't want to show your beautiful faces, you can certainly switch off the cameras. Think by default, I switched off the cameras. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to this session on the AI for beginners, changing or creating your ideas or bringing your ideas into apps, or making sure that you know that brand new idea of yours that's been lingering over for a while. How do you want to convert? How do you want to bring that to life, right? How do you want to make an app? I think in the good olden days, it used to take at least 3 months to 6 months to 1 year or even more to create an app or to create an application or to bring your idea to the point where somebody can start accessing it or testing it or using it, right? Now that those days were gone. You don't need to wait for 3 days, so you don't need to wait for 3 months to a year or so. You can literally create an app nowadays. Pretty much, I would say, in an hour, 2 hours. And of course, we may have to do a little bit of honing on that, but drilling into a little bit more, polishing that application. But ultimately, this is really, really easy to do that. I think the concept what we are going to do today, or the things what I'm going to explain to you today, this is all about how you can bring or use AI to bring your idea into app. This shouldn't take more than few minutes for your ideas to flourish, ideas to bring it to that point where you can share it with your friends, you can share it with your colleagues and your families to test it out, or with your testers to test it out. But ultimately, it's actually going to be it's going to be something that you may want to have. You may want to reach out to your probably an investor for a bag load of money. You never know, right? I mean, at the end of the day, investors are certainly going to be helping you to, helping for them is these kind of ideas are really, really, better ones, right? So give me a second. Okay. I was actually hearing my own voice, actually. I think it's a YouTube live is going on. That's why it's happening that way. Okay, okay. So let me share my screen. So that's the idea at the moment. So let me start sharing my screen and then we jump straight into the session. So you should be able to see my desktop. I have two screens, so probably you should be able to see the screen which has got a little bit of a slides. One good thing is that I'm not going to be jumping into creating a theory for you. I will certainly be helping you out because we literally have about 45, 50 minutes to jump to do the building of this application from your idea, right? From your mind. So I don't want to jump into too much of theory. So bear with me. I may have to do some bits and pieces here and there, but ultimately you will certainly will have a mechanism how to create these apps. So this is a free hands-on session. It's a bootcamp, pretty much a hands-on session. It will certainly enable you to become more AI conscious, AI aware. Certainly, my mission to train 5,000 people by end of this 2026. So hopefully, you are one of them. So I'm really glad that you people have joined this one. The idea today is very simple, right? As I said, we are just simply, changing the idea into an app or creating an app by using AI. That's pretty straightforward. And who is this guy, right? If you guys don't know about me, most likely, I think most of you guys know. But if you don't know, actually, this is me. I work in London. I am an AI lead engineer. Now is innovation lead. I write books. That's my passion. Keep writing books and other things. So far, I've been written, I think, 6 books. Seventh book is kind of coming out. I may want to write some novels and fiction as well some point of time. Fingers crossed. I do mentor quite a lot of people as well. So that's me. I live in London, in the greater part of London. So you can find all my links over there. Ultimately, This session is a free session, but if you want to buy me a coffee, you can go over there and donate these things. But you can always, remember 10% of your charity is always going to go to your charity. Okay, today we have three parts, right? So one is your idea, how you want to convert that into prototype. And then, of course, once you have an idea, how you want to take it to the next step, that is to build into a productionized system. We are not going to do the third part, or in fact, the fourth part, which is the productionization. But from the idea to the next step, we are actually going to do this part one by one. Okay, today that's what it is. And for anybody's benefit, I started this training session since last week. Really now, actually, my son is now back into Spain. He's now becoming what do you call it, tennis professional. I wanted to become a tennis professional, so he flew away from the nest. So that means I got more time on my hands, and me and myself actually started building these courses. I also have this very much I wanted to share the knowledge which I have. Is one of those fields that is actually dramatically changing the course of everyone. It's actually touching each and every one of you guys. So I thought, okay, maybe let me try out creating these courses and try to explain this to the, or share my knowledge. So there are more courses coming up. I think next Sunday, I think there is a second part of from what you're learning today. For example, if you want to make that app into the hands of public, then that's where you're going to be joining it. And that's a part two, which is going to be idea to app to live, actually. Okay, that's something which is coming up, I think, in July 19th, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so today I don't want to be, talking too much about slides, but just take an example of what you're going to do today. You have a mechanism of building an app. I'm going to teach you that mechanism today. Uh, think of an idea, right? Maybe you want to create a procrastination, you may be procrastinating things, right? You may want to have some sort of a mechanism to an app to give you some motivational course every day morning, or you don't want to go to gym, so maybe that app should allow you or help you to do that job, to push yourself. Maybe you want to learn something about a particular topic, maybe AI, maybe some sort of engineering, or maybe some sort of a plumbing. You never know. In that case, you may want to create some sort of a tutorial app that will help you do that one. Or personal finance. So maybe you are spending too much of money here, too much of money there, but you're really not getting the hang of what is coming in, what is going out. So you may want to have a personal Excel sheet kind of a based app that you want to have it. So there is no dearth of these kind of ideas. So far, it's really difficult for you to start building these ideas. But for now, from now onwards, from the AI side onwards, especially after this particular one, I'm pretty sure you're certainly going to be easy. This is really going to be easy to do the job. Okay. So we are going to use vibe coding. So don't worry about all these things. I'm not going to be, asking you to go through everything, but on a high level, vibe coding is all about describing what you want rather than writing code in the good olden days. It's pretty much you say, this is what I want to do. And ultimately the agent, the application is actually going to do the job for you. That's pretty straightforward. Okay. Now, just leave that there. We don't want to do any more of um, like the theory. Let's jump straight into ChatGPT, because I know that you may have, or you people have already worked on ChatGPT, but I really want to start with the ChatGPT, because this is the application. This is of course, this is the most important application that I would say will help you to get through a lot more things, right? What I mean to say is that this is a beginning of your AI awareness AI session. So how do you want to use it? I can explain to you now. I know most of us will use it only for one purpose, that is chatting and getting the answers and going away. But this can be used for more than that. You can create a lot more number of things. So I will explain to you. I'm not going to be explaining to you about what you can do with the chat system here. That's not what here. So let's start very basic. So on your left hand side, obviously I'm not going to be interested in explaining to you not explaining, sorry. I'm interested in, I'm not, I'm interested, but I'm going to waste your time in setting up the account for ChatGPT. I'm assuming that if you don't know, hopefully you can just find a lot number of resources for setting up the ChatGPT. That's perfectly fine. But if you think about it, once you log in, there is a lot number of things that you can do that. For example, there are some applications that you can do, you can use it here. So those applications are pretty good. I mean, like for example, there is something called apps here. You can also go into more and you can see the images and deep search research as well, right? If I go to apps, for example, you can connect yourself to any of these apps. These are pretty much, they are you can think of it as an app which is part of your ChatGPT. So that means if I want to create a Canva based application, you can simply chat and you can connect your Canva application and you can chat, and then that gets created a slide by probably by your Canva. So there are multiple ways of creating that one, but there's also a lot more number of things that you can use it. You can always use the deep research and images and things like that as well, but we are not interested in that one. But one thing I really want to show you is something called Codex. So if you go to chatgpt.com/codex, this is your AI assistant for work. So think of it as a senior engineer sitting next to you. A senior engineer who is actually following your process, or sorry, following your certainly following your how can I get rid of that? Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Senior engineer sitting next to you, making sure that following your instructions. Like for example, if you're next to me, you can say, Madhu, can you build this one for me? That kind of a thing. So this is one of those applications that you can certainly use it. So I would strongly suggest that. I mean, I'm going to show you a few of the examples here, but keep in mind this is straightforward. You can just go to /codex and then deploy that application on your local machine. I mean, rather than working on the cloud, I would say probably you should always work on your local machine. So let me show you an application which I'm going to share this one. Where is my, yeah, here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So for example, you can see that this is my Codex. So once you download your Codex, you open that Codex on your Windows operating system or on your Mac operating system, doesn't matter, or the favorite of your operating system. Once it is there, you should be able to see the operating system, sorry, the app like this. Now, if you think about it, this is as simple as a chat application, nothing fancy, nothing more, right? But this has got so much of power that you could create a ton of utilities from this one, right? Not just the chatting, but you can do an application which I was trying to do, or trying to explain to you. So let's do that one. Actually, I'm not going to be, working through working through all the settings. But let's say you have done the job of setting up your application, your Codex is up and running. What do you need to do? Right. So first things what I would suggest is that go to your, you can see on the left-hand side, there is something called projects, right? So create a new project. If you click on that one, it'll ask you, what is the name of the project. So let's say we just simply, we just, we can simply, there's a local project, that should be fine. And give a name to the project, name to the project. Let's say this is a trainings, right? So something like that actually, and then I can save it. Okay, nothing fancy. This is nothing but it's just a folder to keep your applications. But ideally, what I usually try to do it is that rather than having AI trainings, I would say probably, let's say we want to build an app called probably what do you have any particular apps that you wanted to give it to me, or or maybe I'll get that. Let's say you wanted to create a personal portfolio app, let me do that. Personal portfolio app. So that means you certainly want to create an application for your own self, a website about you, a website which tells you, which is about what your skills are, pretty much selling your own self actually online. So it's kind of a website for your own self, right? That's the idea here. Now, I have created nothing more than actually just created a folder. Inside that folder, you can start chatting. So if you think about it, right, this is where I have a project here, and this is where my chat client is here, right? That's pretty straightforward. You can see on the bottom right, you have a lot number of things that is actually going to give you, like, are you going to be allowing me to use the ChatGPT 5.5 or other different models? Just go with for the time being, you don't need to worry too much about any other what do you call models. Straight away jump into system. Okay, now let's because you're building a personal website for your own self, let's ask it to develop that. Okay, what do you want to ask? You say create can I increase the size of the font so that you should be able to see very clearly? Create a modern, you want a modern application site, so modern site, right? Personal portfolio site, website. Okay, this is what you want to create it, right? um what are the other things that you should have? The website should have let's say about page, right? Should have maybe your skills, maybe your projects, and maybe contact. This is what your website should have, right? What else you want to say? So pretty much you are actually whatever you want to, this is all your thought process, right? You want to, ideally you want to sit with somebody else to say, can you create a website for me? But in this instance, you don't want it actually. You just are asking an agent, asking AI to do the job, right? Let's say make it clean because you don't want too much of this one faffing around. And let's say maybe mobile friendly because you really want this to be mobile friendly, right? FRIENDLY. And do you want anything else? So like, let's say this is for your own self, right? Do you have particular theme? Let's say choose professional theme, right? I mean, if you want, you can always ask anything you want, right? So this certainly, this is your command, nothing more than that. Usually what you can do is that you can always go to ChatGPT and ask it to expand that one, uh, expand this prompt, right? This is called prompt, by the way, to expand this prompt so I can ask Codex do the job. Okay, you can do that as well. Usually you don't need to do it, but if you do it, actually the ChatGPT is certainly going to go away and create a much more better job. Okay, better job of creating everything from there, right? Ideally, this is a better way to do that, but for the time being, let's stick to the really simple one, right? Where was our we'll stick to the our own Codex app, right? So we simply said that the website should be about skills, etc., and it should be it should be very, very professional. That's what you wanted. So I click on this one. Let me get rid of that. So this will start going away and doing the job for you. So if you think about it, right, if you see on the topmost here, it's looking for, it's doing the work. It's actually trying to see, I need to go away, do this job, what Mr. Konda has asked me, and it's trying to do the job for you, right? Straight away, it's just doing one after the other, right? That's exactly what's happening here. Now, it has done a little bit of things. It said that I'm going to take a look at the workspace, and it said that folder is empty. So I'm going to create some contents, some static data, static site data, and so on and so forth. Remember, you are not yet been asked to say, do you want to code this HTML information or the JavaScript or anything like that, including style sheets and etc. It did not ask you, neither you have asked it to provide it to you so that you could just guide it, right? Nothing at all, nothing of that sort. It is actually going to go and do the job for you. So if you see, actually, this is now started thinking about it, okay? Usually, what you can always do is that um, you have a mechanism to ask for approval. So when anything what is trying to do, you can, this particular the approval is for you to say, don't go and muck around on my computer. Ask me whatever you're trying to do. Take my permission. That means I am the owner. You are just the co-pilot and the pilot, right? That's the idea here. But if you really think, if you want your unrestricted access to the internet off your computer, from your computer, this is what it is. But I wouldn't really strongly suggest unless it is a VPS or some sort of a virtual machine. Just keep that in mind. Now, if you see, actually, that has been started building that particular application, and it keeps on going on. While it's doing the job, if you see on the top right, there is, I mean, if you click on this particular part, it's like this is the file structure. You can see that it's actually building everything locally, right? So that's the idea. You can also put this into GitHub. I mean, if you don't know about the Git, do not worry. It's a source control versioning, right? So you know, multiple people will be working on your website, on your code. That's the reason why you wanted to have some sort of a version control. But that's not a big thing. But if you open the side tab or the right-hand side tab, you should be able to see these 5 things. And if you open the files here, this is where the things whatever that have been created, those are the ones that are being created here. Okay, so these are the files that the Codex, actually not ChatGPT, the Codex is now trying to create that for you. So just to recap once again, ChatGPT is again one of those applications from OpenAI, but that's predominantly for your chatting and creating a little bit of AI related GPTs. But if you want to create some sort of a coding related applications like web apps or applications or apps and things like that, you may need a bit more than chatting to a generalized model. So that's the reason why you go to Codex, which is pretty much a second, you can think of it as a coding assistant from OpenAI. So there is a generic AI assistant and there's a coding assistant. These two are the 2 things that are actually going to be helping you to do two different things. In this instance, I'm using the Codex. Codex can be downloaded onto your machine, onto your website, sorry, onto your local machine, and then start getting ready to do the job. What you're just like you are asking the ChatGPT, you ask it in this chat in this particular window what you want. Accordingly, it's going to go and do that. Now, looks like it has done the job. It said that the browser connection is ready. I'm checking the render, etc., etc. Everything seems to be run. Now, it's asking, do you want me to? Can you give me access to the local host? Means like in your computer system, what is running? Okay, I'll simply say allow always, and then I say yes. Go ahead, do this. So that means you are pretty much allowing it to be taking the control of your browser. So it's kind of goes to that, it tests around and it comes back and updates the code and then goes and comes back again. So that's kind of a things keeps on going on one after the other. Now, while this is doing, so I can just, as I said to you, this is the place where you can find your files. Okay, you can see that index.html has been created. There's a style sheet, there's a JavaScript file, etc., etc. But as I said, as I promised to you, you are not going to work on the coding side at all. This is something which an agent that is going to do. In this case, whenever I say agent, that is this guy. So if you see here, there's a GPT 5.5 that we are using. So again, theory less, don't worry, that is a large language model or an AI model that is becoming an agent that will work for you straight away. You don't need to worry anything at all. It does the job from end to end. Okay. Now, looks like it has done the job. So it says that built a clean, mobile friendly portfolio website for so and so, right? That's what it's done. So it said that it's running locally here. Okay. That if I go to that particular website, that's what the website should look like. I mean, I can take this away rather than seeing it in the Codex. You can see it in here, right? So that seems to be a professional. So it has picked up somebody called Alex Morgan, which is because I didn't say who am I, what exactly it is, but that's not bad at all. And it has got about page. It's got skills, yeah, front-end product engineering delivery. That's not bad at all. And you can see that you have created your own projects as well, what you have worked on, and probably a bit of about yourself, like your contact information. I mean, I was professional. This looks perfectly professional, and I can see that button seems to be working very well. It goes to skill. If I got contact, it's going to work very well. Yeah, that's not bad idea. I mean, so that's not a bad site. Now, you cannot leave it here because remember, this is Alex Morgan, right? You don't want Alex Morgan, you, right? So what you can do is that this is where you're going to start iterative development. You can say the site seems to be good, right? But not for my skills, right? Or not mine. You can say not skills, but you can simply say not mine. So search for Madhusudan Konda online and build it for me. Okay. In this instance, I'm ideally what I should say to the agent is that, can you ask me the questions that you need from me so that you can go and build the information? Because remember, it has built the site, but it doesn't have the information. It has got the bare bones at the moment, right? It is your job to provide that information. However, I'm a little bit clever or cheeky. I asked, go and because if you search my name on internet, you should be able to see me, at least a little bit of me around on the internet, right? So I can simply say, go and do that one. So it found my GitHub, it found my LinkedIn, and it's kind of go and does a job of finding. So I'm not going to be I'm not going to be writing it or asking it to giving it these instructions. It can go away and do the job, right? But this is the easiest way. Now, on top of it, you can also in the same personal portfolio, you can always create a new session. So create a new session. What do you want to do? Let's say you are not very happy with this one. Okay. Well, you may want to say, I want it, I want I want an AI assistant, for example. Okay, let's say forget about not being happy with the theme because theme is always it's just a choice. Let's say I want an AI assistant to be enabled as a chatbot in the app, in the web app. Okay, in the site. Okay, so that means let me start this away. So that means what I'm going to do is that what I'm asking is that in this particular website, I want a small what do you call a chat application. So here, remember, if I open some chat application, that you can do the chat. So that's assistant you're actually going to be expected to bring it over here. So probably I'm asking the second session, I'm asking the same codex, right? I'm asking the same codex, but if you think about it, right, I said to the codex, go away and do the job in the second session. The first session is still going on, or at least it's finished, and the second session is actually going on, right? So that means you can create multiple sessions like this to build your project. You can have 3 or 4 sessions that will certainly help you out to creating this one. Now, the portfolio application has created the same. So if I go to 8,000, for example, this should ideally be updating. Oh yeah, you can see that actually my name has been changed. That's good. Practical AI training. So that's changed. It's got it me. Everything seems to be cool. That's okay. Yeah, it had managed to brought that from the internet, right? I didn't say anything about anything. It went away, it got everything. So far looks like really good, right? I mean, of course, I have asked it to do a chatbot, which is actually going to do the chat as well. But in addition to that one, you can say, can you change the theme, say same to a bluish, light bluish gradient. Okay, so just something like that. I mean, I have some spelling mistakes as well, but I don't care, right? Now look at that. On my personal portfolio project, I have 3 agents working together, right? So all of these 3 together are actually going to be creating your application. That means you have 3 agents, 3 senior developers working one after the other. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Okay. Now, this is one thing. Codex is actually going to work a lot more than this. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time on Codex, but this has become it is really, really a great. I would say probably a better job of, better than other coding assistants. This become one of the best ever ones as well. In addition to this one, let me show you one more thing. Okay. Now, just like this one, there is something called Claude. Okay, let me bring the Claude. This is a Claude. Okay, so Claude is another application, but that is from Anthropic. Anthropic and OpenAI are 2 similar tech companies. They have their own models, they have their own applications, they have their own AI applications, and of course, just like you have ChatGPT from OpenAI, Anthropic has got Claude.ai. Okay, so you can just do the chat. So something like if you go to Claude, for example, on website, you should be able to see that. You should be able to see that. Oh, that's not a Cloud, this is a cloud. Cloud, C-L-A-U-D. Okay, Claude. So if you see actually Claude is you can see that is the similar kind of a way what you think about, see exactly the same chat. You have chats, you have projects, You have everything similar kind of thing. I'm running a session on Claude in the coming weeks. Absolutely 2 hours, completely immersed session on this one, where you could create your own skills, you can create your connectors and everything. But that's I'm going to be showing. I'm going to be sending out some details in the coming days, right? So this one is the chat. Perfectly fine, really great. I think that works very well. Exactly like that is the your chat GPT as well. So these two are, kind of two different companies pretty much. Now, what I would like you to do is what I would like you to think about now is, let's say, let me go back to my Codex. Let's say this has done the job, right? So this particular one is now, look at that. That's it's changed the color. Some seems to be doing really good job. However, it started in a 1810, I think. Yeah, 810. So it's doing very well. It's really good. I'm glad actually that they've done the job very good. Now, if I give you this application URL to you, for example, you wouldn't be able to you can't do anything at all. You wouldn't be able to um so for sure, you will not be able to access that application because this is only running on my local machine, right? If I send this application to you, you will say, how can I access this application? This is not running on your machine, right? It's running on my machine. So this is where a next step of thing comes along, which is called productionization, or at least making it to the environments where everybody can have a look at it, have a play at it, have a mechanism to, oh sorry, let me first have a mechanism to try it out. Okay, so there's certainly a way that you can do that one. That's something which I'm going to explain to you in hope in with a new application. Before you go further away, before you go into something else, there's also something called OpenAI has got a platform where you can certainly play with these things, including the codecs as well. But you can always create your own chat application and audio playground. This is a playground. Pretty much, you can do a ton of things here itself. But I'm not going to be, working with you on that one. So the next thing I would request you to work on is something called Base 44 and Repli.com. Now, the reason I'm going on to the Base 44, just go to Base 44. That's all, base44.com, and then create a free account. That's as simple as that. Now, I have at the moment I'm on a free plan. But if I have to increase, if I have to go on to the newer one, next one is going to be $16 per month. That is almost coming to 2000, sorry, $20, right? And so on and so forth. You got different stages or different subscription. But try out before you do these things for you. Go and buy this application subscriptions. Try out first all these things. You cannot simply say that everything is really great for you, because you never know. It certainly could be, you may like it, you may not like it. You don't know actually. So I strongly suggest, do not go to buy any of the subscriptions. So start with your normal plan. Yeah, on your free plan, you might not necessarily be having a ton of things that you can do, but it's fine. You're learning, right? So you can always do that one. So go to base 44. If you go back here, you can see exactly what the way you see in the codex. You see that actually there is a simple mechanism of telling what exactly you want. It's a kind of a chat thing, right? That's nothing more than actually. Now, let's say I already created a meal, a prompt for this particular application. This is the meal ID assistant, okay? Where I want to enter some ingredients. Let me increase the font size, and uh, I have some of those ingredients in my fridge. So I'm just going to enter those ingredients. Then the app should suggest some simple meal ideas. Okay, I'm a vegetarian, so let me say, make sure that you cater for vegetarian veggie dishes too. Okay. I'm just going to be very specific to say that, do that one. Now, can you see on here, there's something called plan first. So usually if I turn this on, what it means is that it doesn't create the code, it doesn't do all the things, whatever you think of, like, the application cannot be built straight away. It's pretty much you and me sitting in the corner, writing down on the whiteboard to say, do this, do that, do this, do that. But we haven't been doing anything at all. right? It's just the planning phase. But for the time being, I'm just going to switch off. Usually I start with the plan. Once I'm happy with the plan, what has been proposed by the AI, then I go into the next step of taking that plan into breaking down into small features. And those features are the ones which are going to be handing over to the AI to go and build it. But for the time being, not worry at all. So for the time being, just go with the straight one. Okay. So I'm just going to start with this one. You know, as I said to you, there isn't any difference for the things between one application builder to another application builder. They're pretty much, they work similar kind of thing. The only difference what you see from Codex to this guy is that Codex is an app which is running on my local machine, right? This is my local machine application, right? Whereas the Base64 is something which is running on the web. You can see that is running only on browser, right? It's a web application. The second, it has taken the information, the prompt from me. Look what it has done. It has created an agentic view here and a preview here. This is a preview. This a preview is the one where you can think of saying that this is where you can, you just simply say that who are the other people, like, sorry, who are the, sorry, what are the components that I'm going to build it. I'm going to show it here. That's the preview. Whereas the left-hand side, you can see, you can clearly see actually what it is he's thinking. He started thinking about all these things like one after the other. It kind of goes one after the other to say, I want to create a meal app for this one. So let me do this, and this. So it's kind of creating that step-by-step instructions for its own self, and it's kind of executing those things actually. This is what the idea here at the moment. Now, if you think about it, keep in mind, this is your agent. The left-hand side, what you see is your agent, right? This is your AI. This is your assistant. This is your co-pilot. This is where you are actually going to be inputting all the information, what you want this guy to do for you, right? So the first window is your planning window or the main window. Once it gets the information, it can start going into the second part, which is going to be creating the application like this. Okay. Now, while this is doing, you can see that, oh yeah, it's actually given me a website, Meal ID Assistant, which is still in construction, right? You can see that actually it's still doing actually. So, excuse me. Not to worry that much about it. Let's come back to this one once it is finished. So while that is doing the job, let's go to the another application called Replit.com. There are tons of applications. There are about a handful of AI builders that can help you with this kind of application development. Remember, at any point of time, you are not writing any piece of code. You're not creating any code bases here. All you're going to do is that you simply use the AI to build your applications. And the way you're going to do this is this is called vibe coding. You are telling it to say, this is my idea, Mr. AI. Can you go and do this job for me? And then once you get the idea, then you start asking it to do modifications. You're asking it to repeat the process of X and Y and Z. Maybe give feedback to say, you know what, Mr. AI, the one which you did is wrong, is completely incorrect. So don't do this. Maybe go something else. Do some other way. So this is the interactivity that you are actually going to have it with AI. So in this instance, I have a second application builder, which is called Replit.com. Okay. I will share these things actually in the email after the class. Don't need to worry that much about it. Now, Replit.com is a similar kind of a base 44, similar like in a Codex, but it's the same. It has got a little bit more wings. So that means you can have something called full stack development. That is, you create an application. You can also put that application on the servers, on the virtual private servers, for other people to come and test it, or for the other people to have it access to it. Okay, that's the everything in one go. You don't need to go and download the code, bundle it up, and then push that into a different environment. Instead, everything is available in Replit.com, also is in Base 44. These two are similar kind of applications. Everything can be created. Now look at this. Like before I go to actually, you know what? Let's start with the Replit and then we come back over here. Now, this one, what did they say? Okay, so we created the meal one. Let's say we create something called we create a local landing. So probably you must have seen a ton of businesses in your locality, right? Maybe a barber shop, or maybe a laundry shop, or maybe kirana shop, whatever the thing, right? Now we wanted to create a landing page. So this could be your business idea as well. All you're going to do is that you're just going to create a landing page for your local business, right? All I'm saying is that ask for the business name, location, services, and then go and do the job of creating a homepage for them with, of course, with a headline. If you want, you can also have a hero section. Hero section is the big section you see in the front of the page. Okay, so and the headline and so on and so forth, right? Now you can still again go with the plan mode. That means it will tell you what to do before it does the job, right? So you can approve it or you can disapprove it. But for me, I will just going to say yes, you can go and do that one. I can also say this is not an application which is on the web-based application. Maybe I'll say this is a mobile application, right? It's because on the mobile itself, I can simply find out a local business and input that one, and then it should be able to create a HTML file or a static page for them. So I'll just say that this is my mobile application that I'm going to work on. So let's go and do the job, right? Now, the second I gave the prompt to the application, it went away and they started working it. But do keep in mind, what did I mention to you earlier? You should ideally be talking to the ChatGPT, talking to the Gemini, talking to somebody else to say, is this a really good idea? Like, for example, in this case, we said that's so and so, right? Let's say if I have this one, let's say I want to create, um, I want to create the same one I just said, and I said, put that in the Replit. I just keep putting it here. But now look at what I'm trying to do here. Roast this idea, right? I want you to be brutal. Don't sugarcoat. I mean, this is roast means is understandable, right? So what I'm trying to say to the chat GPT is that this is what I'm trying to make a business out of it, but don't simply take my word for it. You go to critically evaluate my thinking and then come back to me to say whether it is right thinking or not thinking. So it said that it has already said that you asked me to become a brutal critic. So here it is. Now, it straight away told me that the idea itself is very weak. I mean, that's a very disappointing thing, because that is true, right? Because not because it's bad engineering, but because it's a solving problem that's already been solved by hundreds of times. So there are people who have already done this job, right? So if you think about it, right, it's become a commodity. That means you can just simply, as if you go into an ice cream shop and getting a ice cream, is as simple as that. That way you can remember weeks or remember other. There are so many other application builders who can create this thing for you, right? Yeah, Wixay is one of them. Squarespace another one, including Claude and Replit and ChatGPT and Gemini. These are all the things that can do the job as well. So it says that it's a weak one, right? At the most, what you're saying is that you're saving 3 minutes of the time for the business, right? So it did say that, okay, but you can always override this one. My always thing for you is um ask the ChatGPT, go through this process of evaluating before jumping into creating anything, right? Why exactly? What is the reason? Go and do the market. Ask it to do hundreds and hundreds of things so that it can do the job and come back to you with a little bit more information about whether that idea is better or whether you had to pivot that idea into something else. Okay, always do that. Now, in this instance, it said that the idea is three out of 10, which is poor, right? But we are not here for us, but I just wanted to show it to you how you want to critically evaluate an application idea. Once it comes into your head, don't foolishly think that that is the best ever idea. Come to the chat GPT, come to the Claude, come to Gemini, and start asking it questions, just like the way you're talking to your friends and telling no, ask oh sorry mentioning it to them to say, this is my idea, what do you think? They may or may not have that kind of bandwidth to talk to you, but certainly these tools will help you, roast that idea or bring that idea into life as well, right? But we are not worried at all. I said, I'm not bothered about your inputs. Give me, by the way, don't say that, it's not, it's really bad. Give me the prompt, the short prompt, right? That I can ask Replit to do do the job, right? So I'm just overriding it. Now, you don't need to get this thingy. Okay, you don't need to get the prompt, but I just wanted to take the prompt. So I'm just going to copy this prompt, right? Remember, you can use the top prompt which I shared it earlier. This one is itself is enough, right? But this itself is enough. But let's say we go to Replit and ask it now. Sorry, we already asked it, right? Sorry about that. Okay, that's fine. If you see, actually, we said that create is a mobile app, create a tool that generates landing page for so right? It has already started working on it. I mean, you can see that it's building a mobile app. It's going to be kicking off the generation of the icons and so on and so forth. You can see that it is actually trying to create the required code for you, right? You are not touching the code. Remember that, okay? Always keep in mind, are you thinking about this code business? No, you're not going to be touching that. All you're going to do is that look at what it's trying to do. Now, it is Replit, I found a little bit slow or even slower than the other ones. So I'll leave it to run completely, just let it run. Let's go on to the base 44. Now, let me see the application. So it has been, deployed on my local machine. It's a meal ID assistant. Okay, the name it has gone to itself. I didn't put a name, by the way. It has said that, okay, this is a pantry pal. Okay, that's not bad. That's okay, not bad. Now let's say what are the ingredients I have. This is the only page, actually, nothing more than that. Okay, let's say I have some chickpeas, right? I may have some, what do you call, spinach, right? Actually, you know what I'll say? I'll have chicken. Okay, let's see what it's going to do. So I want to make it a vegetarian and see if it does the job. So these are the three things I have. Let's see if it gets any meal ideas for me. Now, if you think about it, right, how this guy is going to do is that is going to be using the model to get the information, what exactly the things that it is expected to be doing it, right? It's ultimately the idea there is that it's going to be using those ingredients, but using the AI brain to understand that particular information. Okay, so if you look at it, right, it has gone to get some meal idea. So in my fridge, I only have chickpeas, spinach, and chicken, nothing more than that, right? Because I mentioned as vegetarianization, it did not put chicken anywhere. It said the chickpeas spinach salad. Okay, so a fresh and nutritious salad made with chickpeas and spinach. That sounds not bad at all. And it also said, remember I did not mention anything about how many minutes it's going to be taking, whether it's easy or not, but it's just went away and done the job, everything by itself, right? And shopping list is going to be like, you have to, have olive, two tablespoons, lemon, salt, and pepper, and so on. So that means these are the things that you need to have before you start building it. Of course, it also given the cooking instructions as well, the recipe details, right? So rinse and do so and so. This is awesome, right? I mean, if I'm at home, for example, and if I only have these two, maybe this is what I'm going to do, right? I mean, just kind of spinach and so I'll take the chickpeas. I'll fresh all the fresh juices and everything, like lemon juice and other things. Toss everything together and serve chilled or room temperature. That's it, nothing more than that. You can also create a stew, right? You can also create a spinach and chickpea curry, right? And so on and so forth. I think it's a very bad combination, but it did manage to give me a lot more things around this one, which is not bad, to be honest, right? So let me pick this one other way around. I mean, let's say if it is vegetarian, if I switch on the vegetarian, if I toggle it off, let's see what exactly it's going to do. Most likely it will say it might create something. Probably it may say actually, maybe chicken, spinach, something. I don't know. Let's see actually. Okay. So it said that chickpeas. Oh, the same one is no. I said veggie, but it didn't take veggies, right? See, if it has given only veggie option again, right? That's not right. So I have to tell you are giving me veggie options only, right? In spite of me turning the option off. Excuse me. So what you're trying to do here is, this is called vibe coding. You are actually trying to you check the application, you found some bug or you found some issue. Now you're going to tell that application to say, you did a mistake there. Can you just, can you do the make sure that application works as expected, right? That's exactly what it's trying to do here, right? You said that it said that, okay, I'm going to strengthen my instructions. and so on and so forth, which is not bad actually. Okay, so that's pretty good. And now you can always ask, can you add a calorific count, calorie counter? Right? Maybe there's another one which I wanted to add. But did you see what happened here? This says that one message has been queued. What it means is that the previous one is still doing actually, right? And because the previous one is doing, you don't want to be, adding another one. Now actually looks like actually it's been added to that queue. Now it's going to add that additional feature as well. So now you're trying to build one top of the other feature and over again. So this is really good because at the end of the day, you are not writing any code. You are actually only instructing the application, instructing base 44 to do the job for you, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, let's jump on to the Replit. Looks like it's created a nice iPhone application. It's called Page Builder. So there is a hero section. There's all the types of things what I want and how it works. Enter the business name, so and so, so and so, and it's going to create that for you, right? Now let's check it out. Create my landing page. Business is, yeah, Joe's Pizza, for example. Pizza. Um, Restaurant is a restaurant. Next, okay, what is that? It's actually London. Tagline, fresh pasta always, okay? And next, so and so. I mean, you can just say that pasta always. Pasta. I mean, just making it up. Okay, but you can always add another service and so on and so forth. And that's fine. I'm just going to preview the landing page. And this seems to be not bad. So this is the landing page for Joe's Pizza, right? Which is superb, right? I mean, like, simply there's an about section, there's some sort of a flashcards for why choose us, which is good. Then there are some services because I did not put the service, but you can always put, dining, or you can always put takeaway service, or you can always put something else if you want. Right. And there are some fake reviews as well, which is good, which I can be overriding anytime I want. I mean, it looks like I am happy with this. So that's good. If I want, I can just create a new one. Look at that. It started creating new one, right? That's really not bad at all. Right. And there's on the right hand side, you can have a QR code that can scan this. If you scan this one, this application will be available for you to start. I mean, of course, you have to, I think there's something called Expo Go that you need to install first. But once it's there, that's fine. Now, one quick thing, look at this. So this is my Replit applications idea, right? So if I publish this one, let's say if I publish this guy, what it means is that your application, whatever you build here, will be available on this particular link. So that is local business builders Siemens .replit.app means anybody can see that application, right? That means from local host that is running on your machine, now you started using that local host, and instead of building that application on local host, you managed to put that into action by pushing it into publication stage, which is on the internet, for everybody to start using it. Okay, that's really good. I think in a second that is going to be available for you. Once it is available, there will be a public link that is you can start using it. And if I give you the public link, anybody in the world can use the public link and can go to that one, right? In the meantime, let me show you one more thing. So when you are in the preview mode, you can see you can simulate on the web. You can also simulate on iOS, which is what you just done that. Or you can also do it on the Android actually, one of them actually. So you can see that if I had to go for iOS, it kind of asks me to install Expo Go, that app, and once that is there, that should that should have done the job for you very easily. Okay, that's the beauty of it actually, right? Like, you can do quite dramatically the application development on an app. I mean, it's not a native app, it's not built using Swift, but at least it's some good job that it has done, right? Now let's come back to this one. Maybe it has said that I'll added the estimated calorie counter. I don't know where is it then, but let's say I will say not vegetarian. I'll go to the chicken. and chickpeas. I don't know why I'm talking about chickpeas. That's what I'm going to say, and that should ideally be picking up the data as we can. I know that's what is going to do it, right? So now, if you think about it, right now, this is the iPhone app, which is ready. So that means anytime if I publish this one, once this publication is done, that means I should be able to, you can access this application anywhere in the world and simply create a brand new website for your businesses. Let's say you went to let's say Vietnam, right? And you've seen a laundry machine doing laundry guy doing the job, but he doesn't have any website. So you said that, okay, listen, man, I'm just going to create the website in 2 seconds. That's it. You just created everything from scratch, and then that can be published straight away. If you integrate that into with the DNS names and things like that, that gets published. And this is exactly what Wix and other things actually do that as well. Of course, and there's a little bit more than that, but that's a billion. I mean, that's a some sort of a $1 or $10 idea anyway. That's perfectly works really very well, isn't it? So this is the beauty of it. So let me see if it's been, yes, it's about to do. Yeah, you can see that the application has been deployed. So if I click on that one, I can click on that. If I give you this application, you should be able to see that actually. Of course, for me, I need to start, going to the going to the iOS or Android, get that application. But if you do the scanning of this application, you should be able to see the meal prep application straight away there. Whatever you see here, sorry, the page builder application, you should be able to see that over here. Once you have that one, it's relatively straightforward for you to do that. Okay, that's pretty much. Now, the reason I'm trying to tell you what differentiates between the codecs, right? This is, remember the codecs what we discussed, right? This one, this is all on your local machine. Everything is on your local machine. Anything you do it on your local machine is not going to be helpful at all, right? By the way, you can see that it has created the chat client as well, okay, which is good. AI assistant as well. So you want to do that, and it's just that. Okay, it's good. It's working as well a bit. Now, on the Replit, that this not that particular problem is not going to be there anymore on Replit, because on the Replit you have an app application that can be deployed to the world. Okay, just like that one. You can change this one. For example, let's say I have this website. This is my own website, okay? isawise.uk. Now, this is actually built on Replit first, and then of course I moved it into something else. But when I used to have the similar kind of a thing, actually, isawise dot something 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 dot replit dot app. This used to be my some so like that actually, and then what I did was I just managed to create, I bought a new domain, and I not transfer, sorry, I changed the DNS name so that every time replit.app is called, it goes to the main application. That you can always do it really easily, actually. That's not a problem at all. So this particular application, always keep in mind, this is available for you, but usually when you're giving it to the business, you should not be giving this kind of links, right? This is a horrible link. Nobody's going to business, nobody says it's a template anyway. So your job is to make sure that you create a page like this, but you also have to create or buy a domain and attach the domain to this one. So let's say you have created this local business for don't know what to do. Let's say local plumber. Okay, so plumber is called let's say Tommy, right? You can create a site called tommytheplumber.com. Okay, that's the DNS name. So that means you have bought that, and then come over here. You can adjust the domains. In this domain, you can simply create a new domain or connect your own domain. You can simply say instead of example.com, you say Tommy Laundry. Right, that's what it is. So obviously, in this case, I don't know that there is any website called Tommy Laundry, but if it is there, it's actually going to be asking me to do the job of migrating it, okay, or adding it to you. Adding it. So that's the beautiful way of getting your application ready against this one. I think we are 2 minutes past, so I'm just going to pause there, or at least stop there in a minute. So just to recap, you have ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the first ever contact for you, or the Gemini or the Claude. You can start working with them. They're absolutely wonderfully, wonderful applications. So you can start, certainly you can do that one. What in addition to what I would suggest, always suggest is that don't stop at Codex. Codex is certainly going to help you out to create these initial bits, everything, but that cannot be, you cannot take it application to production all of a sudden straight away in that application. You can do it, you have to take that code, you have to bundle it up, and then you have to deploy it into some other server and so on and so forth. So it can be doable, but for you guys who have probably not much of IT exposure, all you're going to do is that you're going to work something like an end application, right? That's what it is. So you can just go over to the basics to base 44, or you can always go to your the replit.com to get your get your application deployed like the way you want it. Excuse me. If I go quickly here, if I do the manage thingy, you can see, actually you can see that it has deployed on the 2 CPU cores, right? So this has got a machine that has been resurrected just for you. For my application, it has created a new machine and it has deployed this application on that machine. That's what this is trying to do. And then that is exposed to the world, right? So that means right from your application idea, this is your idea, plus the whatever the way you have asked it to modify it or enhance it or amend it, it has done the job. And ultimately, when you start satisfying yourself with the application, then simply you publish it to the world. When you publish it, it is going to be available for anybody in the world. Yeah, that's the idea. So that means as long as you give the URL name, this URL will certainly help everybody to look at that application from anywhere in the world. Or you can just keep it to yourself so that nobody is going to be using it anymore. So that's the beauty of working with the vibe coding. Ultimately, keep in mind you are not doing any coding here. You simply are going forth and to and fro with the application, right? If you don't like it anything, you can simply say, I don't like it. Just give me the idea of creating this application for me. That's the idea here. Nothing more, nothing less. All you're going to do is that you are instructing a senior guy to do the job for you. You do not mess up your hands with code. Okay, so that's the idea I wanted to promote here. Go with replit.com if you want. Go with what do you call the base 44 if you want. Go with AS Studio if you want, or go with new like in Cloud actually if you want. I think AS Studio, that's the one. If you want AS Studio, I think yeah, you can just do all these things. AI Studio from Gemini, it will helps you to create these applications, right? Ultimately, anything what you want, you can always do that one by going through any number of these applications, right? Not just one, not just Replit, or not just Base 44. There's Bold, there's Lovable, there's obviously Gemini Studio. There's other bits and pieces as well. So there are multiple applications, including there are upcoming as well. Okay, so all I would suggest is that take an idea, start flowing through that idea one after the other into the way that you can create an application, and that can deploy it onto the application like this. That's the idea that I really want to promote with you guys today, right? So nothing is stopping you. All you got to worry about is that how do I take this information, or how do I take my information of creating this app or creating that game, how do I take it to the next level? How do I take it to the point where I can start asking people to use it? And of course, they may give me money as well, because you can run ads on that. Or if it is a SaaS application, you can certainly use people. You can buy those services to people. Like for example, in this case, you can use this app for going back to your street. You can find out a local business who might not have a URL, a website. So you just go and say, okay, what is your website? I'm going to create a website for you, and this is a new domain. Everything is like plugged in perfectly fine. In about half an hour, 1 hour's time, he or she will have the website provided they've been given the content, right? Provided you've been given the content by themselves. So this is the Base 44 and Replit.com and Lovable. These are all full stack applications. Lovable is a little bit less, but at the end of the day, you can use these applications to deploy your application, your app, your web app, whatever it is, to the world. That's exactly right, to the world. Okay. So with that, I think I have finished my thing is, I mean, not to worry about it all. Do touch base with me. I think we're on this. Okay. Do touch base with me. I am more than happy. I'll be doing these things over and over again. I know I'm at a very early stage at the moment. I really want to do these training sessions. Every Friday, I want to do a free session, but let's see actually how, because today I got caught up at work. And literally I came about 10-15 minutes before the session because I got caught up, and then I couldn't, and the trains were also missed out as well. So it's all like, not missed, also cancelled. So too many things, but let's see actually how I can do that one. So with that, I certainly will pause and let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining the session. I know it's a bit of a rough, like, quickly doing through. Do join my 19th of July session. It has got much more subject. I will go through one by one rather than doing the things like this. Okay. With that, I will let you guys go. Thank you so much for your patience. Thanks a lot for joining as well. Appreciate that. See you probably in a week's time, or maybe whenever you already just join my thing. Okay. Hopefully spread the word of my my mission as well. I really want to teach or train 5,000 people by end of this year.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.